With this, we got breaking news. Adrian Wojnarowski reporting 3:30 in the morning. Free agent Paul George agreed to a 4-year, $212 million max contract with the 76ers. George committed in a meeting with the Sixers officials to return east. He's going to join Joel Embiid, Tyrese Maxey in pursuit of an NBA title. Now, PG has averaged at least 20 points in 9 straight seasons. He's one of 5 players to average 20 points per game in each of the last 9 seasons among individuals to play at least 30 games in each of those seasons. Of course, we got more coming up on Paul George here in the show. But our next stop, how about Golden State, where we are witnessing the dismantling of a dynasty. Klay Thompson, unrestricted free agent, unlikely to resign with the Warriors, has been linked to the Mavericks, the Lakers, among other teams. Wendy, give us the up-to-date latest on Klay Thompson's free agency.
Well, the Warriors and Klay Thompson have moved on from each other. They are now focused on finding a sign-and-trade deal that can give Klay the best possible contract in his new destination. He had some mutual interest in the Clippers and 76ers, but both of those teams have made signings in the last 12 hours that make this a little bit more difficult. So I really do believe it's coming down to the Mavericks and the Warriors looking for trades that they can make, ancillary trades. They can make a move with the Warriors a little simpler. Ultimately, at the end of the day, they both could sign Klay outright. And when Klay makes his choice, he can go to either place. But right now, I do believe the Mavericks are ahead, not only with Klay, but also in their pursuit of a transaction that works. They have already cleared some maneuvering space by trading Tim Hardaway Jr. last week to the Detroit Pistons. The Lakers, yes, LeBron James has offered to take less money, and that's definitely something the Lakers could take him up on, but they probably need to make an ancillary move to create some space underneath the apron to do this Klay Thompson deal. I think the Mavericks can get Klay Thompson to a contract in the neighborhood of 4 years and about $67, $68 million. And that is now the goal the Lakers have to try to hit themselves in a sign and trade package. So Klay is obviously going to take his time. We'll see how it plays out today. But I think it's really a stare down between the Mavericks and the Lakers at this point.
But, you know, when you look at stylistically on the court, I mean, you get Luka, you get Kyrie driving, kick it out to Klay. All you got to do is shoot. He's probably the best spot-up shooter.
And what was the issue against the Celtics?
Knocking down
shots. They shot under 32% from 3 in that series. You have somebody that can knock down. And Klay Thompson, you can say all the things that that has fallen off for him in the last couple of years. But one thing that has not is the shooting. 41% 2 years ago, 39% this season. A catch-and-shoot guy, one of the legendary catch-and-shoot shooters in the NBA, in NBA's history, and you know he can get hot. We have seen that throughout his career. It's exactly the fit that the Dallas Mavericks need because they look like a team that almost had everything, but the one thing that was missing the most, especially in the biggest stage, was the shooting. And by the way, here's a guy that's been on the biggest stage in the NBA over the last decade, so he certainly won't shrink in the spotlight. It's a perfect fit, Cuss, for the Dallas Mavericks, and if you think about it, for Klay Thompson.
You know, Timmy B, you're a hoop aficionado. Klay Thompson leaving Golden State for Dallas would be like what?
Be like Ray Allen going from from Boston to Miami back in 2012. Very similar circumstances. Yeah. You got a Hall of Fame shooting guard, one of the best three-point shooters of all time. Goes, you know, you see him making shots here, hitting the shot in Game 6 against Miami or against San Antonio to get them to a Game 7 and ultimately win that title. But that was a similarly acrimonious circumstance. You saw Ray Allen leave to go take a bench role in Miami. I don't know if Klay's going to come off the bench, but this feels like a situation where for both sides, it's good for it to be a fresh start. Klay gets out of Golden State. He obviously came off the bench last year. There was some hard feelings about that. The Warriors are in a position where they're obviously retooling the franchise now. They're not really a championship contender at this point. And to Alan's point, the Mavs with Klay are one of the 3 or 4 best teams in the West. They got a real shot. So to me, it makes sense all the way around for him to do this.
And look, he went and won a couple of more championships. Talking about Ray Allen when he went there to the Miami.
And if you think about it too, it's not easy to play with Luka Doncic. It's not. For a lot of guys, it's difficult. Porzingis had trouble with it. Christian Wood. Other guys who are normally looking for the ball want the ball in their hands. One thing Klay has is built in already. He has played with Steph Curry. So he already understands when the ball orbits around one guy, how do I play off of a superstar like
He
that.
ain't dribbling anyway.
He knows.
Exactly. Yeah, all you got to do is catch and shoot.
Too many dribbles down. You're right. But I'm saying he already knows how to play with somebody like that. So it's such a great fit.
Okay, so then, Wendy, let me come to you because, listen, Klay is a California guy. LeBron has already made a phone call to him. His dad, obviously a great Laker, still calls the games there. You tell me why Klay Thompson wouldn't be a perfect fit for the Lakers.
Well, he would be a perfect fit for the Lakers, and the Lakers are trying to get it done, and they may get it done. But, the thing about what the Lakers are is with what they've got on their roster and what they've got, to maneuver under the apron with eventually also re-signing LeBron James, they're a step away. They've got to make an intermediate trade. If they make that intermediate trade early today, I think the chances of them getting Klay increase. But I also think Klay is compelled by that match that you guys are talking about in Dallas. I think fitting alongside Luka and Kyrie would potentially be very comfortable for him. And, they've obviously proven that they're a serious contender. They are a better team than the Lakers, even by adding him. And so he's closer to a championship by joining the Mavericks in all likelihood than he is with the Lakers, pending any other moves the Lakers might be able to pull off.
And that's the biggest point to me, is that the Mavs are by far the better team.
Yes.
Like Klay Thompson has a lot of nostalgia to be able to potentially go home to play for the team his dad's still calling games for. But if you're talking about his best chance to, stick it to the Warriors, if you're looking at it that way,
that's exactly
going
it.
to Dallas where they could certainly be back in the conference finals, back in the finals, make Custer really happy.
I love it.
Go back to his love it. It only makes sense really for him to go to Dallas. If he goes to the Lakers, it's for these other reasons. It's not to be on the best possible team.
And wouldn't it also come with unnecessary expectations? Because right away you're going there and it becomes, what are we going to talk about? The Lakers, are they closer to be a contender and all that stuff? And it puts so much pressure on that move.
Great city, great fans. Obviously they got some great players, but he hurts me a lot. So hopefully, this offseason we find a way to get better and, add some pieces.
Add some pieces.
How about that? Notice how he adds some pieces. He kept going like that because Paul George was right next to him.
Joel knows how to tell the story.
He does know how to tell the story. Now, that was really interesting, seeing those two on the set. Let's give us the real story of how those two got up there on the set there, Tim Bontemps.
Well, I was standing in the bowels of American Airlines Center in Dallas, Renee Noel, ahead of the game, and Joel Embiid walks around the corner and runs into me. And I said, "Oh, hey, Joel, what's going on?" We talked for a couple minutes. He meets Sergio Aguero, soccer star. And then I say, "Well, Paul George is doing Countdown." And he goes, "Well, I'll go do Countdown." I said, "Really?" He goes, "Yeah." So then Bill Duffy, the agent, comes by, takes him to meet Sergio Ramos. Joel's a huge Real Madrid fan. So he goes and says hello to him. I think, all right, he's just going to walk away now. Comes right back over and says, "All right, where's the set? Let's go." So I take Joel Embiid up through the concourse, take him to the Countdown set. Our guy Pete McConville gets him on air, and he made a little show, which is what he likes to do.
So you brokered the deal, let's be honest. It all started in that moment. The genesis of the Sixers championship starts right there in Dallas with you.
The deal was brokered slightly differently than that, but if you want to give me credit for it, that's fine.
That's fantastic. I love the side eye too as he was talking, just looking over
at the picture was Paul George not looking at him.
Right,
like,
exactly.
I don't want to get fined.
Perk made sure he sat right next to him. It all worked out great.
Well, how about this? I want you to take a look at this because the 76ers now, when you talk about the odds, they have the third best odds now to take home the title at plus 800. They trail the Nuggets, who are plus 750. Celtics plus 300 to win it all. When you talk about 2024, 2025, give me your reaction to those odds there, Alan Hahn.
Sucker bet. No. By the way, though, as we were talking about, I love this I-95 thing that we're talking about. Three of the top four Eastern Conference teams for a championship. When was the last time that you could say that?
I had Hembo look it up. There's only one time in the history of the three franchises they've each won 50 games, which was 1981.
Wow.
So this has basically never happened where you have these three teams this good. It's an awesome setup for the league. As far as those odds go, you got to drop Denver. They're the biggest losers in free agency. Losing Davis, Caldwell-Pope, they're going down a ton. But you look at Philly, you look at New York, you look at Boston, you can make an argument they're the three best teams in the league right now.
And your biggest concern, if you're going to put money down on them, will be the injury factor, the high probability factor just built in because of Embiid and obviously Paul George as well. The availability issue is the one that would make you hesitate to say, I'll take that at plus 800.
No question.
Wendy, when you look at this move here for the Sixers, where does this, in your opinion, move them up where in the East?
Well, they're definitely behind Boston. Obviously, Boston is the king of the mountain. But after what New York did last week, locking down Mikal Bridges, Philadelphia was really in need of getting a two-way wing who could really be a star player. That is what you're going to need to figure out Boston and New York. And there was just nobody available as good as Paul George was. So it's absolutely the perfect mix. Then look, Paul George is the headline, but them locking down Kelly Oubre last night after Paul George committed. Oubre had a spectacular season last year for them. There were other teams interested in him, making sure they bring him back. Also an excellent quality two-way wing player. So they addressed just like New York, made sure they got Mikal Bridges and OG Anunoby. Getting the combo of Kelly Oubre and Paul George is going to help in the struggle, because it will be a struggle to deal with Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum.
Okay, so what do you think? What is this? Does this? I guess that the bigger question is, does this move the Sixers ahead of the Knicks when you talk about the battle for the East and the Celtics?
I think it's a pick your poison thing, and obviously we were talking about this earlier today. I think if you're betting on probabilities, the Knicks, because they're going to have better health and they have more depth, they have the better chance of getting to the end and being the biggest challenger to Boston. But in terms of probability of highest outcome, in terms of highest ceiling, Philly has the highest ceiling. Because if they go into a series with the Knicks, you got 3 of the 4 best players on the court. And that's why you get these guys together. It's why Daryl Morey's always gone star hunting, right? Ultimately in the NBA, you win with stars. Now, there's huge questions about the health. There's huge questions about the rest of the supporting cast. So getting Andre Drummond to spell Joel Embiid was big. Getting Eric Gordon out of minimum was big. Getting Kelly Oubre was huge. He gives them a legitimate two-way option at the shooting guard spot between Maxey and Paul George. But, again, I think Philly getting this done puts them second for me, because I'm going by ultimate championship upside. And they, to me, I think these are the 3 best teams in the league. Like the Eastern Conference last year, everybody was knocking the East, saying the West is so much better. Yeah. It's Boston and everybody else. There are 3 legitimate teams atop the East now, and as a basketball fan, I think that's awesome. Like, I'm super excited for them this season.
What about you, Knicks? Because Hartenstein hasn't signed yet.
That is the other huge key. What happens with Isaiah Hartenstein in this free agency? Because if the Knicks lose him, they got Mitchell Robinson, who had a ton of injuries, and then nothing after.
And then the options to get a backup center are not really that. I mean, again, you've seen teams that are starting to pick up centers, and the Knicks aren't going to get one that's high enough level of somebody like a Hartenstein. The fact, though, that he didn't sign last night, the Thunder went to see him in Oregon. Like, they visited him personally and then left. The fact that he didn't agree to anything last night gives the Knicks some hope as they're trying to tug at his emotional heartstrings and say, hey, you can be part of something special here in New York, even though it's for a discount. But it's still always going to be about Joel Embiid with the Sixers, right? That's what it's about. If this is on paper or on 2K, the Sixers obviously have the most talent based on that. But because it's not played on paper, it's played on hardwood, we all know that Joel Embiid is not there at the end of the season, no matter what. He runs into that brick wall in the second round. Paul George has taken the Pacers to back-to-back conference finals. We've seen him do that in an earlier in his career as well. He also got the Clippers to a conference final as well when Kawhi got injured. So we know he can get over that hump. It's just now getting to the finals for him. So is it that they can survive those minutes? They were minus 47 with Embiid off the court in that first-round series against the Knicks. The Knicks had no answer for Embiid, even on one leg. They couldn't defend him. So that's why, yes, you put them ahead of the Knicks on paper. But what the Knicks have that the Sixers don't is depth, and that's number one most importantly, and then the switchability of so many different players. He can play different types of lineups.
Jenkins, my pistol's out now. Make sure y'all go run that up. You heard it live from your boy Bobby Shmurda. Get out.
Chase gang.
You live by it, you die by it, that shit true. Lost a couple homies, some real shit I got hit too. Gotta watch your back, you get killed, niggas are spin through. Where would I be without my pistol? You live by it, you die by it, that shit true. Lost a couple homies for real shit, I got hit too. Gotta watch your back, you get killed, niggas to spin through. Where would I be without my? Where would I be without my pistol? Where would I be without my pistol? My pistol. Where would I be without my? Them niggas caught me lacking, had that thing right by my side. Already one in the head, nigga, this shit do or die. You fuck around and lose your life, you come and playing with mine. I told them boys this shit get hot when you playing with fire. Boy better not jump up on that block if he ain't ready to ride. Goofy musta thought it was cool, we just trying to survive. That musta went over his head, same way bullets gon' fly. You know that shit ain't got no name once they open they glide. Need to stop shooting from that corner, nigga, run down my side. Niggas saying they doing drills, taking innocent lives. Niggas shooting for clout, they never really hitting them guys. I keep it on me all the time, but would I be without my? You live by it, you die by it, that shit true. Lost a couple homies for real shit, I got hit too. Gotta watch your back, you get killed, niggas that spin through. Where would I be without my pistol? You live by it, you die by it, that shit true. Lost a couple homies for real shit, I got hit too. Gotta watch your back, you get killed, niggas that spin through. Where would I be without my? Where would I be without my pistol? Where would I be without my? Where would I be without my?
Where would I be without my Glock? Yeah. She a thotty, she be all over my body. Can I love you or you are for everybody? If I leave, she coming right beside me. Like, was only one by my side. Not gon' play, nigga, you gon' die. The eyes broken, them niggas, they been fried. Like, free skin, he got locked for homicide. Like, so I'm trapping on my lonely. And I'm swerving in the foreign by my dolly. And these niggas outside not really my homies. Free gang, free broke, free the homies. Like, why they talking like they on that, but these niggas ain't on shit. All my niggas sliding and my niggas talking blicks. Daddy on my side and she really with the shit. Talking real crazy, she gon' push a nigga away. So I'm trapping on my lonely.